Hello, my name is Rick Wegley, and this is Ask NCM, where we do our best to answer questions and concerns from our clients from around the country. This week during a service management class here at the Institute, we got into a great discussion about profitability in the dealership, specifically with hours per repair order, and we were looking at effective labor rates, we were looking at gross profit margin management, but really what we started looking at was capacity of production in shops. I don't think there's any overabundance of technicians out there, and when I ask my students if anybody in here have more technicians than they need, as you can imagine, there was no hands that came up in the room. So if you think about the fact we're trying to increase capacity in the shop and technicians are so hard to come by, we start talking about the efficiencies of how we do business on a day-to-day basis in our dealership, and what could we do to increase our productivity from the current technicians we have by as little as maybe 1 hour per day. Now, quite frankly, in discussions we have during these classes, you could trip over an hour a day. When we look at the 15 minutes that perhaps was lost looking for keys, or maybe waiting at the parts counter, the smoke breaks, the YouTube videos, the chit-chatting at the, we call them fender pigeons, when you got 2 or 3 technicians just hanging out at a car having a discussion that doesn't pertain to business. All these things take time away from our technicians' productive time on a car. So mathematically speaking, how much would an hour a day add to your dealership's profitability? You know, simply put, if you took the number of technicians you have times 1 hour per day for each of those technicians, because they could increase their capacity by 1 hour per day on production, okay, and you can take that number times your effective labor rate, okay, and then you can take that number, which is your effective labor rate times technicians, that will give you hours per day increase, and then take that times your effective labor rate. If you multiply that times 22 working days a month, just as an average work month for a technician, what you're going to come up with is a pretty high number of potential sales in your service department. Now, you can also take and equate to that, how many parts do we sell per hour that we produce in the shop? So there would be the additional gross profit also, not only from service department labor, but from parts that were sold that was associated with that labor. So think about things that you could do in your store to increase technician productivity by 1 hour per day. You know, perhaps again, availability of advisors to sell, pre-selling the usual suspect items, if you will, items that we know that we are tangibly going to be doing on a car while it's in for service. And you'll see a definite uptick in improvement on production of your technicians as well as gross profit in your dealership. If you have a question that you'd like to see us address on a future episode of Ask NCM, please feel free to reach out to us at NCM. My name is Rick Wegley, and thanks for joining me on this month's episode.